Good morning, everybody. I am here in San Diego. As you can see, I'm in my hotel, so we don't have the greatest lighting, but that's okay. I am excited to be here with you this morning. I got up early. Here's what I do. Does anybody want a tip around, how to keep up with your workouts and all of that while you are traveling? Well, here is something that I do, and I did it especially. I was traveling so much when I was training to turn pro, when I was competing in that sequence of competitions that would have me eventually turn pro earlier this year. And so this was really important. I developed this practice then, and I'm still doing it now. Is when I'm traveling and I have these events that typically start around 8 a.m. is I get up early, I do cardio in the morning before I eat, then I get showered, I do what I've got to do, which is like what I'm doing right now. Then I go to the events, and then after the event, now you might not want to work out twice a day, but I lift. Lifting is, part of my sport. It is my sport. So then I go back right before dinner and I lift weights, and then I eat, which is, by the way, you always want to eat a really good meal after you do any heavy lifting, because it replenishes the glycogen that you just burned while you were lifting. Anyway, that's a side note for anybody who cares about that. So if you're just jumping on, if you're just jumping on and you want a tip about fitness and about how to train, I just talked about that in the first minute. So anyway, here we are. I'm excited to be with you and deliver something that will be of value to you, as this week we've been talking about how you think. Right? Like about how you think, not so much the techniques or the strategies or the different things that you can do in your day-to-day life, where we talked about that last week, right? This week we're talking about how do you think in a way that actually has you experience your life in a joyful way, in a meaningful way, as you are pursuing whatever this vision is that you have, right? As a high performer, as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a mentor, as someone who is passionate about, contributing and delivering something meaningful into the world. And most of you here want to turn that into your profession, which you're going to love what I'm talking about today. But how do we think in a way on a daily basis that has us actually enjoy that process, enjoy the meantime, as opposed to being stressed out, burned out, and just doing what we're doing to get somewhere, right? I said something on Monday, and I think again yesterday, about the getting there is not where you get your joy. Right? And so how do you create it in the moment? So that's what I'm going to deliver to you this morning before I go and get ready. So I often hear from new coaches and new entrepreneurs that they're stressed out because things aren't happening quick enough, right? Or they tell me that, I don't know if I should be doing this or if I should be doing that, right? It's like they know that they are meant to coach, inspire, lead, and make a difference for people. They do it in their personal lives. They tend to be the go-to person for that. And they know that, that what they have to share has meaning, but they get kind of confused but how do I do it? And am I this kind of coach or am I that kind of coach? And what do I say? And they end up getting sidetracked, right? So what I want to talk to you about today is a way to think about your profession, right? So I love it when I end up working with coaches who realize that what they get to coach comes from what they've experienced in their life, because that is truly where you're going to make the most impact, right? You're always inspired from the events of your life. And when you allow yourself to follow the flow of those ideas, right, the potential to have a really exceptional experience and life and career is much greater, right? The potential to have joy in your career. Good morning, Catherine and Linda and whoever else is on here. Drop me a hello in the comments. If you're going to have more success in joy. Think about joy. Think about enjoying your life. Life is meant to be joyful. What if you thought about it that way, right? You're going to have more joy in your life and in the pursuit of whatever your vision is than if you just select your career based off of other reasons, right? Based off of money, based off of what people think that you should be doing, or family tradition, right? Income potential, all of those things. So you guys get that, right? That you're going to get more joy, more satisfaction, and you're going to make more of an impact when you make your profession something that comes from the inspiration in your own life events, right? This is why I, for the past 15 years, have always taught what it is that I've actually done in my life and experienced in my life, right? That's what it means to be a coach, right? That's what it means to be an inspiration or to be a mentor, right? So how do you do that and not get sidetracked and not get in this spiral of, this isn't happening the right way, or I'm not making this money, right? We're talking about how do you focus and what do you focus on in the meantime so that you're not having that kind of strain and stress as you're pursuing. Okay, so here's what I want to say. It's going to sound very simple, and it is very simple. And most people are not doing this. And when I started looking at my life this way and looking at my profession, my career, right, I stopped being hung up on what kind of coach I was, what was my title. In fact, I've coached and supported people in 3 different industries, right? So when you can think like this, which I'm going to share with you, then you're not hung up on the how, the name, the why. This gets tied into vision, but it's really about grounding you in the present moment and how to think in those moments. So I encourage you, and I get this from my thought mentor, Esther Hicks. I encourage you to decide, right, as soon as possible. And I try to talk to my daughter about this now. I do talk to her about it because the earlier in life that you decide this, then the easier it's going to be to continue to think like this, right? So I encourage you to decide that your dominant intent, right, your dominant reason, not just for your career, we're gonna weave it in, but your dominant reason for existence, right, for even being alive, is to have a happy life, is to actually experience joy. What if you thought about your life that way? Like when you woke up every day, yesterday and the day before, I gave you an exact process of ways that you can interrupt your thoughts in the moment so that you can create experiences and feelings that you actually want, as opposed to just being in reaction mode, right? So what if, just humor me here, what if you decided, you know what? The dominant reason and intent for me being here, however you believe you got here, right, is actually to live happily ever after, right? What if it's not a fairy tale, right? What if everything you want doesn't have to be difficult, right? Because here's what happens. We all adopt the belief system that we've already heard over and over again, right? We never often, especially as children, and this is why we're so influenced as children, we don't stop and say, wait a minute, do I believe that? Right? Just because that person or 90% of the population seems to believe one thing, that you've got to work really hard for whatever you want, and that anything worth having is worth working hard for. I'm not going to say that's true or not true, but what if you chose not to believe that? Right? What if you chose to believe that the reason for me existing, and therefore the purpose and pursuit of my career, what I'm going to do in my life, is the basis of that is to be happy, to have joy. And if you think that's like too wishy-washy, too woo-woo, too frou-frou, too like, unrealistic, well, think about why you've even decided, especially if you're an entrepreneur or pursuing entrepreneurship, what's the whole reason that you're choosing to do that anyway, right? I would gather to say it's because you believe that you are going to be happier because of it, right? We only ever start to pursue something because of what we believe we are going to feel as a result of having it. right? So you didn't choose that because you want your life to be more of a struggle, right? But often people come to me and they are experiencing it as a struggle. Now, I'm not saying that everything in life is easy. I'm saying you get to redefine it. I talked about this so much this year about the hard shit getting easy, right? Like it can quote unquote be hard, meaning like you've got to put some effort into it. Like you have to put effort into anything. You've got to put effort in sitting in silence, right? And meditating. But that doesn't mean it's hard. It doesn't mean you have to experience it as difficult. It doesn't mean you have to suffer in the process, right? So what if you acknowledged, hey, the reason that I'm choosing, if you're not choosing a profession for money or other things like that, right? And I'm talking to those of you who are motivated to serve, right? Those are really the people that I work with. I work with people who really want to serve others, right? Who really want to take their skills, their gifts, and help other people create some kind of experience, positive experience or transformation in their life. And they want to make a living doing it. If that is you, and is it, let me know in the comments if that is you. And if it is, can you acknowledge that you're choosing to do that because you believe and you believed when you set out to do it that it was going to create an experience of joy and happiness for you, right? You didn't choose it to struggle. So when you think about your profession, think about it as an opportunity for you to experience joy, happiness in the delivery, in the discovery of what you're doing, in the ebb and flow, in the entire process. What if you chose that is my experience, that is my intent, right? If your intent becomes, so you have your vision, right? But your intent for this is to experience joy and to have an exchange of joy and pleasure in the process, right? What if that becomes your intent? And so then you see how that is also the difference of being goal-driven. I talked about this, if you guys were there on my training on Tuesday, right? About being vision-driven versus goal-driven. Because when it's like, I've got to hit this number by this time, and I've got to have this many clients by this time, and all of that stuff automatically starts to put you in a stressful experience, right? It starts to put you in the experience of lack and scarcity and fear because you start to focus on perhaps it not being there. But what if you just shifted to the experience and the feeling that you want to have? Do you think that it's possible that all those other things start to line up much easier? And I will answer for you that yes, it is, because it's how I've learned to operate in my own life and in my own businesses, right? It's how I've found myself getting in flow, even when I'm going through seemingly difficult times, right? Or transitions, right? It's so freeing to be able to think in this way so that I'm unattached and I'm not experiencing struggle. Let me not say the word struggle, but I'm not experiencing despair, right? I'm not feeling down on myself, right? I'm still trusting in the universe because I'm choosing to experience joy. I'm choosing, right, to interrupt my thought patterns, right? So listen, this is really what separates you from the average person when you start to control the way that you think, because that then controls your feelings. It controls the way that you operate. And the beautiful thing is, at the same time, you're letting go of control of the things that you know you can't control. Does that make sense? What if you made a career out of living a happy life rather than trying to find the work that's going to produce like the money, and then with the money's going to go out and make you happy? That's not what's going to make you happy. Trust me. It's just not. Do any of you know people that have money flowing in, but they're not happy? Yeah, I do. Right? And you might know other people who don't, have the money flowing in a way that other people do, and they are happy, right? Everything that you do in your life and in your career and in this business that you're building is going to be easier and be more joyful when you decide that this will be your experience as you're going through it. When feeling happy and creating moments, right? You don't have to wait for things to happen, right? That's really the point of what I'm getting at here. You don't have to have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 clients before you can experience being happy in your business, in the work that you're doing or pursuing or creating or crafting. Think about the painter. Catherine, if you're still on here, right? You're a painter, right? You're experiencing joy as you're painting, not only when the painting is done, right? You're actually experiencing you're not halfway in and then you say, well, forget it. It's not done, right? Might as well give this up, right? I haven't gotten to the end goal yet. No, you're in the moment of it, right? And so when you can make that paramount, right? When you can make experiencing joy in the moment, then what you do and that what you do for a living makes you happy. Like when you can decide that, as opposed to what I'm doing for a living is an uphill battle, or, whatever you're doing, whether you're an employee or you're an entrepreneur, right? What if you decided what I do for a living makes me happy? Then you found the flow and the combination of, you being already in a thought place and in an energy place that's going to allow you to then implement easier, right? Whatever systems, strategies, and goals that you get to plug into your vision, right? When you can become very good at feeling good under all conditions, whether the money's flowing freely right now or it's, seems like it's slowed down a little bit, but you're still in that experience and choosing the thoughts of, life is happening for me and, my career is unfolding and in the moment I am happy in the pursuit of it, right? When you can be good at like finding that vibration, right? First, choosing it, well, then you'll start to attract circumstances and events to your life and to your career from that place, right? Because here's the truth. If you have been in the lack, if you have been in the fear, if you have been focusing on the struggle, let me ask you something. Is it attracting more of what you want, or is it attracting more of that experience, right? Is it actually attracting more money? Is it actually attracting more clients? Is it actually attracting joy and expansion in your life, focusing on what's not working? I haven't heard anyone tell me yes yet, right? In my experience. And that's certainly not mine. So your potential for sustained happiness and abundance goes through the roof when you can decide that this is how I choose to view and think about and experience my career, my life, right? That is something that will help you to stay on track. And listen, follow your calling. Get intimate with that calling. And don't follow someone else's calling, or don't let somebody else interpret what your calling is. Nobody knows in your heart what your vision is. This is why I say to my clients all of the time, you've got to get intimate with what the vision is for your life, then plugging in what the vision for your career is. And then we can set goals. Then we can plug in systems and strategies. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. You're just following a template. And templates do not create joy in your life. They do not create success, right? So it's time for you to get intimate with what you are being called to do. And you get to choose it, right? You get to choose it and have the foundation of it be I choose in the meantime and throughout the journey to experience joy and happiness in the pursuit of it and in the moment to moment living of it. Yesterday we talked about, and if you didn't see this, it's a little bit deep of a live, but it will help you. We talked about segmenting, right? Going from segment to segment in your life and intending, or in your day, right? From the moment you wake up, that's a segment. When you get out of bed, that's another segment. We talked about being conscious and choosing what you intend to experience in that moment and seeing how that starts to open up things in your life, right? And you're not going to be able to do it just bam, bam, bam right away, but you can start at least breaking it down maybe into, 3 segments in a day and practicing it that way. So if you need support getting intimate with what your calling is, what your vision is, I'm going to invite you to a free call. I said this yesterday. This is the first time I have ever done this year. And there were many of you who, took advantage of that and booked a call with one of my coaches. It is, we're calling this a vision clarity call, because they're going to help you get clarity around your vision, what it is, that you're feeling called to do, and support you in how that gets to look, right? Are you interested in experiencing the feeling of your vision actually unfolding and manifesting? If you are, I encourage you to book a call. It's free. I don't know how long we're going to keep these calls free, but if you are at a place where you need more clarity, you feel stuck, or you even feel close to something, right? It's like, oh, I feel like I'm so close, but I need some support around like putting some language around it or some feeling around it, then this is the right time for you to make a call, to book a call. Like I said, it's free right now. It's not going to be free for long. Take the support when it's presented to you. So thank you guys for being here. I'm going to go get dressed and get ready for my mastermind. I'm so excited. I have a big week. I'm at my own business mastermind this weekend. I'm hosting a mastermind for my students in my coaching academy. And then I'm going for some training after that. And so I'm really, really excited to be able to share with you while I'm traveling, to be able to still be here and share with you while I'm traveling. So let me know what landed for you in today's live, and I will be back on to answer any questions or comments that you have. Everybody have an incredible day. I'll see you tomorrow live at 6:45. Bye.